neonatal ward in Chester, England. The place where premature babies fight for their lives. The place where parents pray. Between June 2015 and June 2016, something is wrong. Babies who should recover are suddenly collapsing. Doctors cannot explain why. 7 babies die. 7 more survive attacks that should have killed them. One common thread runs through every single case: the nurse. Always present, always smiling, always the last person anyone suspected. Her name is Lucy Letby. She injected air into their tiny bodies. She poisoned them with insulin. She pulled out their breathing tubes and watched them struggle. At her home, police find a handwritten note, 4 words that will echo across Britain. "I am evil. I did this." In August 2023, Lucy Letby is convicted. 14 life sentences, then a 15th. She will never leave prison. But the story does not end there. Doctors had warned the hospital for months. Senior managers silenced them, forced them to apologize to her. Babies died while executives protected their reputation. This is not just the story of a killer nurse. It is the story of a system that failed. To understand how Lucy Letby murdered 14 babies undetected, we have to go back to where it all began. Hereford, 1990. Lucy Elizabeth Letby is born on January 4th, 1990, in Hereford, England. She is the only child of John and Susan Letby. Her father manages a furniture store. Her mother works as an accounts clerk. They are a quiet, close-knit family. Neighbors describe Lucy as polite and reserved, a model student. She never causes trouble. She never raises her voice. She attends Ayleston School and Hereford Sixth Form College. She is the first in her family ever to apply for university. Her parents are overwhelmed with pride. Their daughter, going to university, the first Letby to do it. A new chapter begins. From a young age, Lucy says she wants to work with babies. She tells teachers nursing is her calling. She never wavers. She enrolls at the University of Chester to study child nursing. She is dedicated. She volunteers. She does extra placements. Her placement is at the Countess of Chester Hospital. She loves it there. She never wants to leave. In 2011, her parents place a notice in the Hereford Times. It reads, "We are so proud of you. After all your hard work, love Mom and Dad." She qualifies with honors. She is photographed in her mortarboard hat. She looks happy. She looks like someone who will save lives. Lucy Letby starts full-time at the Countess of Chester in 2012. The neonatal unit becomes her world. She volunteers for overtime constantly. She is photographed for a hospital fundraiser wearing a baby grow over her uniform. She is quoted saying she loves seeing babies progress. Colleagues describe her as quiet, hardworking, and dedicated. She rarely socializes after shifts. She goes home. In 2015, she completes a specialist qualification in neonatal intensive care. Now she can treat babies. But in June 2015, something shifts. A baby in the neonatal unit collapses unexpectedly. Then another, then another. Staff are confused. The deaths are sudden, without obvious medical cause. The babies are premature, yes, but not like this. Not this many, not this fast. Consultant pediatrician Dr. Stephen Breary starts looking at the staffing charts. He notices something nobody wants to say out loud. Lucy Letby is present at every single collapse, every death, every unexplained deterioration. She is the one constant. She is the link. June 8th, 2015. Baby A is just 1 day old. Born premature, he is stable and improving. His parents believe the worst is over. Lucy Letby is on shift. Within hours, baby A collapses. Doctors fight to save him. He dies. His parents are told it was natural causes. Over the following 12 months, the attacks continue. Air injected into stomachs, insulin poisoned into blood, milk pumped into lungs. Some babies survive, but sustain brain damage. Others recover physically. All their families are told the same thing: unexplained, unfortunate, natural. In June 2016, Baby O and Baby P, both triplet boys, die on consecutive days. Letby has just returned from a holiday in Ibiza. The same week, she attempts to kill the third triplet, Baby Q. The parents have now lost 2 sons. They do not know the truth yet. Junior doctors are whispering. Some have already given her a nickname. They call her Nurse Death. They say it quietly, out of her earshot. One baby, Child I, survives 4 separate attacks before Letby succeeds on the 4th attempt. 4 attempts to kill 1 newborn. She is escalating. During a Care Quality Commission inspection of the hospital, she attempts to kill another baby. She attacks a child while inspectors are in the building. At home, she keeps handover sheets stolen from the hospital. She keeps notes on the babies. She keeps records of what she has done. By mid-2016, Dr. Briere and his colleagues can no longer stay silent. They formally raise their concerns with hospital management. She is the link. Hospital directors Ian Harvey and Alison Kelly hear the doctors out. Then they dismiss them. They refuse to call the police. Instead, they commission internal reviews, reports that will take months. Meanwhile, Letby is still on the ward, still on shift, still near babies. In July 2016, Letby is finally moved off the neonatal unit. She is reassigned to administrative duties. The attacks stop immediately. But management goes further. They force the doctors to formally apologize to Lucy Letby for their concerns. The doctors comply. They are horrified. The hospital logs the rising infant deaths not as a patient safety crisis. They log it as a risk to the hospital's reputation, a PR problem. Cheshire police are not called until May 2017. Almost a full year after the doctors first raised the alarm, a full year of delay. Police begin a 6-year investigation. They map every collapse, every death. They cross-reference staffing rotas. The evidence is overwhelming. Lucy Letby is arrested for the first time in July 2018. She is arrested again in 2019, then charged in November 2020 on 7 counts of murder. Parents of the babies are interviewed separately. They share the same story. Sudden collapse, no warning. Lucy Letby was always nearby. Police search her home. They find hospital handover sheets she had no reason to keep. They find her diary. Then they find the note. 4 words, handwritten on a scrap of paper. I am evil. I did this. A confession she would later claim meant something else entirely. Officers spend months cross-referencing every shift pattern against every collapse. The overlap is exact. It is total. It is her. The trial opens at Manchester Crown Court in October 2022. It is one of the longest and most complex criminal trials in British legal history. More than 90 witnesses take the stand over 10 months. The jury hears from doctors, nurses, parents, and forensic experts across every specialism. Prosecutors argue she enjoyed playing God. They say she got a thrill from the power, from deciding which babies lived and which babies died. The families of the babies attend the trial. Some hold photographs of their children. Some cannot look at the defendant at all. Lucy Letby takes the stand in her own defense. She says the same thing over and over. I only ever did my best to care for them. Her parents sit in court every single day for 10 months. They move from Hereford to Manchester to be close. They never stop believing in her. Medical experts present blood test results. Insulin levels in babies who had never been given insulin. The data is damning. The prosecution has no eyewitnesses, no single murder weapon. What they have is pattern, presence, data, and the note. Handover sheets stolen from the ward are entered into evidence. Her name, her handwriting, babies she had marked, cases she had tracked. Expert witnesses testify to insulin levels that could not be natural. Blood tests showing air in circulation. Injuries no illness could explain. The defense argues it was inadequate medical care from other staff. They suggest the deaths were natural. The jury does not agree. One consultant breaks down on the stand. He had raised the alarm in 2016. Nobody listened. He has carried that guilt ever since. August 18, 2023. After 10 months of testimony, after 14 killed and harmed babies, the verdict comes guilty on every single charge. August 21, 2023. Judge Goss sentences Lucy Letby to 14 whole life orders, one for each child. No possibility of parole, ever. She refuses to attend her own sentencing. The families sit in court and hear the sentences read out to an empty dock. She stays in her cell. In July 2024, a retrial on a 15th charge ends in another guilty verdict. A 15th whole life order is added. She will die in prison. She is currently held at HMP Bronzefield in Surrey, one of the most secure women's prisons in the United Kingdom. In September 2024, the Thirlwall Inquiry opens in Liverpool. Its purpose is to understand how the hospital let this happen for so long. Families of her victims give testimony. One mother says the hospital bosses were complicit. They facilitated a mass murderer, she tells the inquiry. The Thirlwall Inquiry hears that during one inspection Lucy Letby attempted to murder a baby. Inspectors were in the building. Nobody knew. In July 2025, 3 former hospital executives are arrested on suspicion of gross negligence manslaughter. They are released on bail. Doctors who raise the alarm early are given recognition, but they are clear. Recognition is not enough. Babies still died who did not have to. The inquiry hears that baby deaths were logged as a reputational risk, not a safety issue. Protecting the hospital mattered more than the babies. The investigation also widens. There are questions about whether suspicious incidents occurred during Letby's student placements at Liverpool Women's Hospital. The inquiry recommends mandatory reporting laws for NHS whistleblowers. No manager should ever again be able to silence a doctor raising patient safety concerns. Her defense team files appeals. They claim new statistical and medical evidence. The Court of Appeal denies every single application. In February 2026, Netflix releases a documentary, The Investigation of Lucy Letby. Millions watch it. The case dominates global conversation again. Beverly Allett killed 4 children in 1991. The NHS commissioned an inquiry then too. Letby's crimes happened 24 years later. The same failures repeated, but the documentary also fuels debate. Some statisticians argue the evidence was flawed. That correlation was treated as proof. The families are furious. The Criminal Cases Review Commission receives her application. Her new legal team claims fresh statistical evidence. The families wait. Again, the Thirlwall Inquiry concludes that the NHS must create a mandatory duty for managers to report concerns about staff to police without delay. Across Britain, neonatal units quietly review their procedures. Staff are trained to speak up. The babies who survived grow up. They do not know what happened to them. The case exposes a culture of institutional protection, of covering up for the sake of reputation, of silencing doctors who try to do the right thing. The debate around the statistical evidence continues in academic circles. But the families are not debating. They buried their children. They know what they know. The families of the victims have campaigned for every single change. Some parents have not spoken publicly since the verdict. The grief does not leave. One of the victims' mothers says, "A lot of the harm could have been avoided." She is right. The system had the information. It chose not to act. In the neonatal unit at Chester, a memorial now exists for the babies who were lost. Their names are not forgotten. Their lives are honored. Lucy Letby remains in her cell. She has never expressed remorse. She has never addressed the families. She has never admitted to anything. She is the most prolific child killer in modern British history. She worked in the one place that should have been safest. She chose every victim herself. The babies she killed never had names in court. They were baby A through to baby Q. But their families know their names, and they will never stop saying them. If this case moved you, hit the subscribe and like button, and share it with someone who needs to hear this story. Every view keeps these babies remembered. If you work in healthcare and have concerns about patient safety, you have the right to speak up. The NHS whistleblowing line is always available. You are protected.